A very warm welcome, dear children, back to the class of biology, and we'll continue with our lesson Animal Kingdom, and we will be talking about the chordates, right? So just before we get on to the phylum Chordata, let's talk about phylum Hemichordata. Right now, if you look at the structure Hemichordata, if you look at it, you will find that this is the proboscis region. The above you can see is the proboscis region, and then lower down you can see the collar part, etc., and the branchial region. And then if you look at it, you will see that the look of this particular organism is like a worm, and this is known as Balanoglossus, right? Now this phylum Hemichordata is, the animals of this phylum are worm-like, they are marine animals, bilaterally symmetrical, they are triploblastic, and they have a coelom. And now they are considered to be a connecting link between the chordates and the non-chordates. Now, why are they a connecting link? Connecting link means they possess certain characteristics of chordates and that of non-chordates as well. So, how do they resemble? They closely resemble with the chordates in possessing pharyngeal gill slits, right? So, in the class when I was explaining phylum Chordata, in that I have explained what are the pharyngeal gill slits in the pharynx region present are known as the pharyngeal gill slits, right? They also possess dorsal is at the back, hollow is empty from inside, tubular, tube-like nervous system, but they do not possess the notochord. Now, if you remember in the previous class, I told you about the notochord, that the notochord, earlier what the scientists believed was that in the proboscis, in the buccal cavity region, from the roof of the buccal cavity up till proboscis, there was a structure, or we can say there was an outgrowth which was earlier considered to be notochord. But later on studies revealed that the origin of this particular structure is different, and it is not a notochord, it was actually the buccal pouch. So because of that, these organisms were put in another phylum, right? So because of that only they are now put in Hemichordata. So they do not possess a notochord. Earlier it was believed that they possess a notochord, but actually now the studies reveal that they don't possess a notochord. So the body is cylindrical and is divisible into proboscis, collar and trunk. You can see the region here. You can see the proboscis part, the collar, and beyond the collar is the trunk region, right? Then it says here the circulatory system is open type, that means the blood does not flow in closed vessels. Respiration takes place through gills, and excretory organ is a proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Balanoglossus, also known as tongue worm because it resembles the shape, is an example, one of the examples. And now we move on to the next phylum, that is phylum Chordata, a big phylum, and we belong to this. So let's quickly go through the characteristics. All the chordates possess a notochord. Now what is a notochord? Notochord is derived from the mesoderm. If you remember, triploblastic, ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. So notochord is derived or formed from the mesoderm, and it is a rod-like structure, right? So it is if I am enlarging the diagram, you can see the labeled part notochord, and it is a rod-like structure that is present, and it is formed on the dorsal side during the early developmental stages, right? Dorsal back side, right? So that is the notochord that is present, and it may be present at some stage during the life cycle of an organism. Now in some they are just present in the embryonic stage, in some it is present beyond that stage, in some it is present in certain specific region of the body, and in those which are present in the embryonic stage, it is replaced by the vertebral column, right? So at whatever stage they are present, if they are present even for a very short span of time during the development, the organism belongs to phylum Chordata, right? So possess notochord, then dorsal tubular hollow nervous system. Now if you look at the dorsal hollow, which is colored in yellow, it is dorsal hollow nerve cord, right? Dorsal at the back. If you look at the notochord, it is behind the notochord, right? And it is a hollow structure. And then the organisms that belong to phylum Chordata also possess pharyngeal gill slits. Lower down you can see in brown color or orangish color, you can see those gill slits that are present, or the gill clefts that are present, right? So these are the pharyngeal gill slits or the gill clefts that are present in organisms, right, in all the chordates. So that's about the pharyngeal gill cleft, and this may be present at some stage during the life cycle. Other than that, the circulatory system is closed type, that means the blood flows in blood vessels. Hemoglobin is present inside the RBCs like we have. Heart is always on the ventral side. Think of your heart. Is it present at the back, or is it present in the chest region, front region, right? So the position of a heart is ventral. It is myogenic, means origination of the heartbeat originates, its origin is muscular, right? So that is myogenic. Then presence of hepatic portal system is there, right? Connected blood vessels to the liver. Presence of a post anal tail without coelom, right? Post anal tail, beyond the anal region there is a tail region which also disappears in certain organisms, but in the embryonic stage it is there, right? Later on what happens, the bones they fuse, so it disappears. Then development is usually direct, sometimes larva is involved. So in very few there is a larval stage present, otherwise there is no larval stage present. Phylum Chordata now has been divided into 3 subphyla: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. So just before we move on to these 3 subphyla, let's quickly go through the differences between the chordates and the non-chordates. The first point is the characters, the notochord. Chordates have a notochord, and non-chordates, in non-chordates the notochord is absent. Next is the central nervous system. In chordates it is dorsal, hollow and single, only one is present, right? Whereas in the non-chordates we'll see that the nervous system is ventral, in front it is solid and double, right? Next is the gill slits. Chordates have pharynx which is perforated by gill slits, whereas the non-chordates, in non-chordates the gill slits are absent. The next character is the heart. Heart is ventral in position in the chordates, whereas in the non-chordates if a heart is present then it is dorsal in position, right? And the last character is the post-anal part or the post-anal tail. In chordates it is present. Now at whatever stage it is present, even in the embryonic stage if it is present, we write present, right? Maybe later on it disappears. Whereas in non-chordates it is absent, right? So that was the difference. And now we come to subphylum Urochordata, also known as tunicata, because the body cover looks like a tunic, so it is tunicata. They are the most primitive chordates, first form early chordates. Notochord, if you look at Herdmania, right, Herdmania, it looks like there is something like a sack or a tunic that is put on top. That is why it is called tunicata, right? Okay, so notochord, the word Uro means tail, right? So the notochord in these organisms are present only in the tail region, right? So notochord is confined to the tail region, so they are Urochordates. Then the third one is formation of a tadpole larva we just now said that few may have a larval stage present. So formation of a tadpole larva during the development is there. It undergoes retrogressive metamorphosis, right? Sac-like unsegmented body enclosed in leathery test tunic made up of tunicin. That is what the covering is made up of. So Ascidia, Herdmania, sea squirt, it is known as Doliolum, that is sea potato. Look at this, it looks like a potato, right? So that is there. Next we come to subphylum Cephalochordata, right? Now the general features, they retain the chordate characters throughout their life, right? Throughout their life. That means from when it is formed till its adult stage, all the characters are retained in their body. Notochord extends from head to tail, right? Now if you look at this figure, you can see the blue structure labeled as notochord, and if you see, the notochord is present right from the left end to the right end of the organism Amphioxus, right? Right end is the caudal fin region. So right, so we see here that the notochord extends right from the head, that is the tentacle region, you can see, to the tail region. Next we see the presence of wheel organ or Muller's organ. So that is there, it helps in the process of feeding, right? So that is there in these organisms, which helps in feeding. Then ciliary and filter feeders, mucus feeders, all these feeders are also present, that helps in the feeding of the organisms, right? So Cephalochordata, cephalo is head, so the notochord extends the length of the body in the larval as well as in the adult stages, right? So they look like fish, they are fish like animals and showing all recognizable chordate features. The dorsal tubular nerve cord, you can see that colored in purple, that is also present, which extends throughout the body length. Pharyngeal gill clefts are also present, they are numerous and they are better developed and segmental, right? So Amphioxus is one example. Next we move on to subphylum Vertebrata, and we belong to subphylum Vertebrata, so you can identify certain things. Notochord is found in the embryonic stages, that means even we have notochord, but during the embryonic development in the mother's womb only the notochord is present, and later on that notochord is replaced by the vertebral column. So since it is the vertebral column, so we are known as vertebrates, right? So that is why it is subphylum Vertebrata, right? So next point is that there are two pairs of appendages present. Now these appendages could be fins or limbs. Now depending upon the appendage to be a fin or limb, further classification is there, right? Then the nerve cord is enclosed within the vertebral column, right? So we have the vertebral column, that is the backbone, right? Inside the backbone is a tube like structure present, which is the nerve cord. So that means the nerve cord is protected by the vertebral column. Brain is lodged in cartilaginous bony or bony cranium. Now if we talk about ourselves, we have a brain lodged in the bony cranium, that means the skull is made up of bones. In some organisms it is made up of cartilage, so that is known as cartilaginous cranium, right? Now the subphylum Vertebrata has been divided into two groups, Agnatha and Gnastostomata. The important criteria of classification is the presence of notochord, persistence of notochord, presence or absence of true jaws, absence of paired appendages, presence of only two semicircular canals in the internal ear. So 2 or 3 semicircular canals. Now if we look at group Agnatha, see subphylum Vertebrata is divided into Agnatha and Gnastostomata. Group A is Agnatha and group B is Gnastostomata. So let's see the characteristic features of Agnatha. Notochord persists even in adults, true jaws are present, Paired appendages are absent. Only 2 semicircular canals are present in the internal ear, and one class is class Cyclostomata, where the circular funnel shaped suctorial mouth with horny teeth for sucking. Right, teeth is horny and sucking mouth parts are present. 6 to 15 gill slits are present. Scales and paired fins are absent. Right, so paired appendages are absent. Next is the semicircular canal is also 2 in this. Next is Gnastostomata, which the organisms belonging to this, they possess true jaws. Paired appendages are present. They may be fins or they may be limbs. Right, notochord is found only in the embryonic life. It is later replaced by the vertebral column. The internal ear has 3 semicircular canals. Gnastostomata is divided into 2 superclass depending upon the appendage, into Pisces and Tetrapoda. So Pisces, superclass Pisces, all the fish belong to this, and fish are exclusively aquatic, whether they are freshwater or marine. Respiration is by gills. Scales are present on the body. Fins are paired, and the body is streamlined, and they have 2-chambered heart. Right. Next is Chondrichthyes. Now superclass Pisces is divided into 2 classes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, depending upon the skeleton, whether it is made up of cartilage or bone, and the position of the mouth. So Chondrichthyes, they are marine and they are cartilaginous fish. Mouth is subterminal. Subterminal, you can see the mouth is slightly below, right, on the ventral sides. Scroll valve is present in the intestine. Tail is hetero circle. Unequal lobes of the fins are present in the tail. So hetero means different. The lobes are unequal. Placoid scales, the type of scales that are present on the body of the fish are placoid. Placoid and ctenoid, cycloid, there are certain designs that are present on the scales. According to that, they are known. So there is no operculum present, hence the gill slits are exposed, right? And then we also see that swim bladder is also absent in them. Now since that balances the body of the fish, you know, they can remain stationary at a place if a swim bladder is present, right? So buoyancy is maintained. So if the swim bladder is absent, they have to swim actively every time to avoid sinking. And in those fish in which the swim bladder is present, they can remain stationary for some time at in water at a place, and they would not sink, right? But these fish, they have to swim continuously to avoid sinking, right, in water. Dogfish, Scalodon, stingray, you can see this trigon, this is the stingray, this is chimera, another fish. And then electric ray torpedo is not drawn, it looks like a kite, the electric ray, right. Next we move on to Osteichthyes, class Osteichthyes. All the bony fish, they belong to this class, found in freshwater and marine habitats. Mouth is terminal, right at the edge you can see the mouth is, right, and anteriorly placed, not below, right in front. Tail is hemicircle, all the fins are equal in size. Different types of scales are there, cycloid, ctenoid and ganoid. Gills covered with operculum, right. So lateral line system is present, that is the central line, it acts as the sense organ, and swim bladder is also present in them. So flying fish, rohu, the fish eaters, they eat rohu. Hippocampus, hippocampus is also the seahorse, it is known as. If you look at the face, it resembles a horse, right, and it swims vertically. So all these are examples of Osteichthyes. Next we come to superclass Tetrapoda, which is further divided into a few more classes, and Tetrapoda having limbs present. Tetra is 4, so 4 limbs are present, divided into 4 classes: amphibia, reptilia, aves and mammalia. So we'll quickly go through this. Amphibia, first vertebrates to leave water and adapted for both aquatic as well as terrestrial life. So whenever we come across the term amphibia, it means life on water as well as on land. They have 2 pairs of pentadactyl limbs. Penta means 5, right, 5-toed we can say, and well developed girdles, pelvic etc. girdles, shoulder girdles. Heart is 3-chambered, sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus are present. These are the parts of the divided heart, right? RBCs are nucleated. Sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus are present. They are not the parts. The 3-chambered heart is 3-chambered, and these structures are found inside. So RBCs are nucleated. They are cold blooded, that means they can change the temperature according to the environment. Respiration is by skin, lungs or gills. Kidneys are mesonephric, that is the position of the kidneys. Sexes are separate, and fertilization is external, and development is indirect, that means they have a larval stage. Class Reptilia, first truly successful terrestrial vertebrates, right? Terrestrial, found on land. The skin is covered with dry skin. Single skull, monocondylic, made up of one bone, 3-chambered heart. Ventricle is incompletely divided, but the crocodile has a 4-chambered heart, right? So that is an exception, crocodile. Otherwise all are 3-chambered. Then metanephric kidneys and internal fertilization, and evertable copulatory organ they have a calcareous shell also. All the eggs are enclosed in calcareous shells. So you can see the pictures of the reptiles. Then we come to class aves, birds, the glorified reptiles. It was said by Huxley. And why? Because they are formed, they are formed from the reptiles, right? And they can fly also. So 4 limbs are modified into wings, 4 limbs, the front ones. Presence of feathers are there. They are warm blooded, that means they cannot change the temperature. Their bones are hollow, light in weight, filled with air, so they are called pneumatic bones. Skull is monocondylic, made up of one bone. Jaws are replaced by toothless beak, right? So the jaws, instead of the jaws, the beak is present, which does not bear teeth. Then a structure known as crop, an organ known as crop is found, that is used for grinding the food. Now they do not have teeth, but grinding is required, so a crop helps in grinding. Then rectum is absent. Sternum, the breastbone, bears a projection called keel for the attachment of flight wings. Then the voice box, syrinx is the voice box, present on the ventral side of the trachea for the production of sound. Heart is completely 4-chambered. RBCs are nucleated, that means even the adult RBCs, mature RBCs I would say, have nucleus present. Kidneys are metanephric. Only the left kidney and the left ureter is present. Right sides are absent. Urinary bladder is absent, and they are uricoteric, the kind of urine they give out, right? Ovary and oviduct of only the left side is present. Eggs are enclosed within a calcareous shell. So all the birds are shown over here, and we come to the last class, Mammalia. Body is covered with hair, presence of now we can relate this to ourselves. Body is covered with hair, presence of mammary glands are there, sweat glands, sebaceous glands. There are 7 cervical in the neck, 7 vertebrae. Then our teeth is thecodont, embedded in bony jaw sockets, and there are 4 different types of teeth. So they are heterodont. Then think of the respiratory system. Below the lungs, the diaphragm is present. Anus and urinogenital systems are separate, right? The opening from where the stool is passed out and from where the urine is passed out, both the openings are different. We are warm blooded, right? We cannot change our body temperature. Our heart is 4-chambered. RBCs are circular, and enucleated means there is no nucleus present in mature RBCs, right? Cerebral hemisphere interconnected. There are 2 cerebral left and the right hemispheres. They are connected by a cord like structure which is known as corpus callosum. 4 optic lobes are present in the brain. Then pinna, that is external ear, is present. Kidneys are metanephric. Presence of scrotum and penis is male is there. Fertilization is internal, right? Generally all are viviparous except prototherians, which are oviparous, lay eggs, right? Then amniotes and placentals, placenta is present, and then we see the examples of some of the mammals, right? And the last you can see an outline of the classification of phylum Chordata that we just studied. Phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphylums: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Subphylum Vertebrata is divided into 2 groups, Agnatha and Gnastostomata. Agnatha has 1 class, Cyclostomata, and Gnastostomata has 2 superclass, Pisces and Tetrapoda, right? Pisces is divided into Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, and superclass Tetrapoda is divided into 4 classes, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So that's all for today's class. We've revised, and next class would be a question answer PDF. So complete your work. That's all for today. Have a nice day.